Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Tylo Express tutorial. If you're just joining us, we have built this rocket here to get us to Tylo, one of the moons of the outer planets. And if you're joining us from the previous episode, you'll probably have noticed some changes to this rocket that we built last time. The number one reason for that is my initial lander only had a thrust-weight ratio of about 1. And as I was explaining earlier, if you have a lander with a thrust-to-weight ratio close to 1, you're probably not going to have a very soft landing, because Tylo's gravity is very similar to Kerbin's. I think it's around 0.8. And to compensate for the extra weight of these drop tanks here that I've added on, I had to add some more fuel to the lower stages, so I got 6 drop tanks around here instead of the previous 3, and I added these gray top tanks at the top. And these are now orange tanks, but they were just 2 gray tanks before, the same size, so it's not a real change. Some minor changes are added a little bit of RCS fuel there. I have taken off the SAS unit here, which wasn't really doing anything, and just left the advanced on. And there's one other little change I want to do here. I've done a bit of testing off camera just to see how this thing works. It's getting a lot of rotation on liftoff, so I'm going to add these extra fins here to try to stop that, make it a bit more controllable. So I'm going to save that. And I think we're ready to rock. We don't need this guy in here. Let's save. Launch. Alright, here we are. Now, one thing to note, very important thing, is you cannot fly directly to Jool. You have to set up the proper planetary alignment first. So I've already accelerated the game to the point where everything is in correct alignment. Right now, Jool is about 5 minutes to about the 12 o'clock position, and Kerbin is about at the 3 o'clock position. I've been using a website called the Interactive Illustrated Interplanetary Guide and Calculator for KSP. I'll link it in the description below. But if we put in Kerbin and Jool as our origin and destination, it brings up our planetary phase angle, which is what I just talked about here, the o'clock positions of the planets, and our ejection angle, which is where we want to start our burn, or have the average of our burn, when we actually start burning towards Kerbin away from, or towards Jool away from Kerbin. And this will set us up on an orbit that'll have apoapsis at about this position. So by the time we get there, Jool will get there. Because if we just went straight to Jool, we'd end up over here, it would be over there, and we wouldn't be very happy campers. Okay, systems check. Let's see, I think everything's in line here. Turn on our SAS, bring up our throttle. Actually, a quick note to seasoned KSP users. You'll probably have noticed that I have mainsails connected directly to jumbo Rockomax tanks, which have a tendency to overheat a lot in that situation. But because we're going to be following this chart here, which shows the optimal velocities for our altitude, we're actually going to be bringing our throttle down not long after takeoff. The reason we follow this chart is because the atmosphere above us is very thick, and the faster we go, the more we have to fight against it, and the less efficient our rocket will be. And if you push hard enough, you'll actually end up causing a rapid disassembly because of all the forces directly on the front of the rocket. So we're going to be running at about 1/4 to 1/3 throttle, trying to keep our velocity increasing as we go up, but trying to keep it below these optimal values. Now, so just want to make sure we're ready here. Okay, let's get going. 3, 2, 1, launch. So we're going to be going up to about 100k, 100 kilometers, not 100, 10 kilometers. That's what I want to get up to. And then we're going to start our gravity turn. Oh, bring the throttle down, overheating, getting close to our speed. Just accelerate very slowly here. Normally I bring that down a lot sooner, but I was getting distracted talking to you guys. Anyways, yeah, 100 not 100, 10 kilometers, 10,000 meters. They're going to start our gravity turn towards the east, and we're going to try to keep our rocket pointed along its vector, with the idea of having our circularization burn finished just as we reach our apoapsis, which we want to have at about 75 to 80 kilometers. So I just gotta wait till we get up to that point. I'm just gonna bring my throttle down a bit. What are we at? 7,000, so we want to be traveling at about 209, just below that, so we're good and safe. I think, at least I believe, when you have your throttle lower, the engines burn slightly more efficiently. So by bringing it down, if you don't need to have it at full blast, and start a gravity turn here, you'll actually be saving some of your fuel. So I'm going to start pointing this thing at our vector. This thing's quite a bit more controllable with these extra fins. Got a lot less rotation. Oops, I turned my RCS on. Sure, let's turn this thing a little bit. Stay on target. 28. See, this is still climbing quite a bit, even though we're past like a 45-degree angle. Now, if I was really smart, I would have designed the rocket that these tanks would drop before I start my gravity turn, because this is a little fishy sometimes. Those don't always come off as cleanly as that. And if they're just going to drop straight off when you're going straight up and down, it's safer than having them come off when you're at an angle like this. Okay, I think this is working out pretty well. Let's continue our burn. 50K. Going up to, let's make it 75. It's safely above the atmosphere. Our delta V parameters for 80K, so we save a bit of fuel in delta V if we stay below that. And we've been staying well on our target vector, which is probably the most efficient way. Almost out of the atmosphere here now, so we're not pushing against all that air. Let's see if we can get this thing circularized before we even get up to our apoapsis. Oh wait, actually no, we're at 74, 75. Okay, let's stop burning. Oh, turn our RCS on. Stop turning, stop turning, stop turning! Yeah. Anyways, let's check our points here. So I just threw a maneuver node down here. If we click on our apoapsis, we can see what we're doing as we adjust it. Bring it down to 75-ish. Nope. That's good. It's fairly circularized. We have a 30-second burn. We're about 30 seconds away, so actually I gotta start burning now, because you do not want to be burning past your apoapsis, because you're going to be falling back into the atmosphere. Losing your momentum. Oh! Stay in control. And I'm also not burning full throttle, so it's probably going to take longer than the time designated. Okay, we're almost there. Keeping our apoapsis in front of us. Staying on target, burning towards the horizon. Just another 10 seconds or so. And good. That's good enough. 71. Cool. And we have used most of the fuel in this. I'm actually going to... No, I'll save it. I was going to say I could drop this tank because we don't need it anymore. Makes it more maneuverable. We might as well save every little bit of delta V we can. Okay, now let's check our injection burn here. We want to line it up this way, because Jool's over here. And we want to be burning, if we look back at our diagrams, approximately here. Oh, I gotta get rid of this maneuver first. There we go. I'm just gonna burn straight out until we leave influence of Kerbin, and that's gonna be 17 minutes. No, that's not right. Estimated burn 46 seconds. Okay, 17 minutes away. That's good. This is probably not a correct burn estimation because it's calculated off the thrust of this guy. We're actually going to be using these for most of our burn, so we'll probably burn a couple minutes beforehand. You don't have to be as precise with these larger maneuvers because there'll be a lot of adjustment later on anyways to actually get this thing up to Jool. So, I'm going to quick save it here. So I don't want to have to do that again. And we're going to speed along to get over to that maneuver node. Probably want to get this thing pointing in the right direction, so maybe backwards. So I'm going to slow down here. RCS. Very slowly turn this thing around. That's why I want to drop this tank. It's just a lot of dead weight. Oh wow, we're going through a wall propellant pretty quick too. I'll just let that rotate on its own for a bit. Here comes our vector. Line it up. Line it up. Okay. Oop. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, I'm gonna cheat. Quick change in our time acceleration will stop the rotation. I don't do that normally, but I don't want to have you guys watching me flail around in space. So, 4 minutes before we get there, probably start burning, say 2 minutes out. Let's accelerate time. This might actually be a good time, even though we're going to the dark side, to deploy our solar panels. Might have been a good idea to set these up on their own key, but it's not hard to do. Now my camera's all crazy. Okay. 2 minutes. And we're gonna start burning. Oh, there that goes. See now, it's turned into a 4-minute burn with just these engines. So it's a good thing we started early. And let that burn for a bit. I guess I'll cut to once we actually get close to our actual escape of the Kerbal sphere of influence. Burnin', 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 burnin' for you. La 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 la. We didn't start the fire. The world's been burning since the... No. The fire's been burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. Ooh, pretty. Alright, we're getting close. Oh, we've already escaped, actually. Let's cut our engines. And there we are, we're on this orbit now. Away from Kerbin. So, what we're gonna do... drop this maneuver node. A new one in front of us here. And we need to actually get this thing to intercept the Jool. And this is always a bit of a finicky process without any extra tools, but if we're lucky and did things right... Aha! Check that out. Nope, just went away. Let's slow down. There we go. There we go. Oh, come on. It's right there. Yes. Now we're going to need to do another adjustment halfway to adjust our plane here, our tilt. Now, since we have the smaller orbit, we're actually going to be moving slower than Jool. Basically, we're going to be over here. Jool's going to come up behind us. Because of that, I want to be entering our orbit below Jool, closer to the Sun. So once it zooms past us, it'll cause us to be in an orbit, a counterclockwise orbit. Instead of, because if we're going on the outside and it comes past us, we'll be going in a clockwise orbit. In this situation, there isn't a huge reason to do that. Actually, no, there is one good reason, because Tylo will be going in a counterclockwise orbit. And we want to meet Tylo, so we don't want to be going in the opposite direction of the orbit. But what I was also going to say is that if you have other ships and whatnot, it's probably best to have them all going in the same orbit. And being that most of your orbits around Kerbin are going to be going counterclockwise, make the rest do the same. So we want to just barely touch that. Come on. Okay, let's shift this over a bit. There we go. Now we're going on the inside. Something doesn't seem right. We're not in the same spot. Should probably start burning pretty soon. Let's bring this over here. 2 minutes away. Still want to adjust. It's amazing what little changes can do to your orbit. Wow! Look at that. We do want to start burning as soon as possible. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's actually start burning then. It's going to take us 5 minutes to do anyways. We might as well just get going. So I'll do another cut to the point once we actually have this orbit intersecting Jool. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright, so we're about 30 seconds away from the end of this burn. And check this out. Our fuel is just about to run out, just about as our Delta V is going to finish up here. Oh, there it goes. So maybe not the perfect... Oh, stay on target. RCS. Oh, come on. I don't have RCS on the stage. Our Delta V requirements weren't perfect, but they're close. Hopefully this stage will have enough for us to do the rest of maneuvers. Imagine it will, because we're not following the plan exactly once we get to Jool, the way the Delta V was mapped out. We don't need to get into the lower orbit. Okay, actually, let's take a look here. Out, 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 out! We have not intercepted yet, so let's burn. A little bit longer. There we go. Intercept. Nice and solid intercept. And we haven't really used barely any fuel at all. Perfect. Okay. So let's get rid of this maneuver node. And we can start doing our adjustments. So about halfway along... Oh, getting any maneuver node options here. Let me just quickly reset this here. There we go. Bit of a bug in the game where sometimes you can't lay down maneuver nodes. Oh, I'm still getting it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So about halfway along, say there, add a maneuver node. We want to bring our orbit up on the normal. I think this is normal, and that's anti-normal. And get it aligned with Jool's orbit. And let's try to click on this. There we go. So now we have pretty high intercept there. So let's burn a little bit more. Oh, this is not the correct one. Guess I can't do both of them. Whoa. Crazy things going on. Okay, I'm just gonna get this a little bit closer. And then we'll check this thing again. Told you this was finicky. There might be more tools later on that help you. Okay, now I think we're basically hitting Jool. Or no, we've lost our intercept, haven't we? Oh, come on. I hate these maneuver nodes. Yeah, I think that basically means we're hitting Jool. Let's bring it down. Okay, no, that's... Where are we here? Looks like we're shooting past it. Okay. Let's try... We don't have RCS, do we? I don't have any on this stage. Or do I have little ones? I should have... I don't remember how to design this rocket. No, looks like I don't have... Oh, yeah, there's ones right there. Okay, so time for some fine-tuning. Actually adjust our velocity with just a little bit of tweaks. There we go. It's a closer encounter. We'll leave it at that. We can play with it a little bit as we get closer. Let's actually push it out a bit. A bit more. More. Oh. Keep this about here. I'm using H and N to thrust the RCS forward and backwards along our vector, which I'm actually falling off of since I didn't have SAS on here. Let's get back on target. Okay, stop. Alright, well, I know we have an intercept here. Yeah, I think we've overshot it. Okay. I think I'm going to turn this guy around and slow it down a bit. Definitely a waste of fuel, but it's a minor adjustment. This thing can actually turn around now that it's not a mile long. Okay, stop. There. Stop. RCS, SAS. Get it right on target. And just a little burn. Stop. Can't really tell if we're above or below. Entering, exiting. Looks like we're actually a fair amount above it. So I'm gonna burn. Stop. Okay. I'm gonna say this is good. looks like... Oh, we're actually still above it. Duh. Now we're basically hitting the thing. Okay. Again, this is finicky, but it's worth it that you don't have to adjust a whole bunch once you get close. So this is basically hitting the thing. Yeah. We're encountering a lathe. Interesting. Oh boy. That's pretty good. I don't know what side of the planet it's on, but it looks like it's on the inside. If not actually hitting the thing. Gonna get a little boost. And we're gonna leave it there. 14,000 kilometers is good enough. Actually, just a tiny bit with my RCS. Oh, come on. Stay. How long does that burn? About a minute? Okay. There, okay. 3,000 kilometers. I think that's good. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm a constant fiddler. 2,000. Oops, oops. Come on. I hate these nodes. Okay, one last check. Once we've adjusted our tilt. Yeah, again, we're basically hitting the thing. Okay, well, it leaves us options. We can adjust it the tiniest bit once we get further out. Won't be as sensitive. We can check it in real time instead of through this maneuver node. It'll also matter. Oh, wow. Okay, I'd say that's a good intercept. Gotta be careful not to actually burn up in the atmosphere. So we'll leave it at that for now. And in the next episode, we'll start figuring out how we're gonna do our the final intercept, our plane change, and the transfer to Tylo. See how far we get. I don't think we'll be landing in that episode. We'll probably do that in the one after. But stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.